Greetings! 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 Greetings!
En mörk uendelig mark ned mot ett blytungt hav. En sen oktoberafton under en himmellag, och dagen väl i stillhet genom det dype rum som smärte där har sörgit.
Greetings!
Som stolt och stum. En mörk uendelig mark ned mot ett blytungt hav. En sen blytungt harg en sen oktoberaften under en himmellav.
Greetings!
Greetings. I'm Dominic Bytes. Welcome to another Hytale stream. Yay. No Byte Club Cinema today. Diesel's currently out of town. So we're just taking a break. Next week, Byte Club Cinema resumes. We'll be doing Cyberpunk and Runners. Sage will be joining us as well. Since he's available, I want to do it with him. So, there we go. Alright, so it'll be the three of us next week on that. Yay, we got Dark Red. Hey, Ginger. We got Sands. Yay, awesome. Many thanks to Libby and new follower, Scab, the VT, who followed. Okay, Twitch is doing it again. So Scab follows me yesterday. I go up to 588. And then just before I go live today, I drop back down to 587. I don't know what it is. As soon as I add somebody, they remove someone. I don't know who's being dropped. I don't think it's like some kind of like cancellation or something like that. I think it's just Twitch literally is just forcing people to unfollow me. I don't know what's going on, but Twitch is being very, very strange, and I hate it. And it was weird too, because I was at 587, and I went up to 588. with nobody following me, just someone just randomly appeared, and my follower count just randomly went up with no follows, and then it went back down, and then scam followed me, it went up, and then it just went back down. Right? I don't know what's going on. Twitch is very broken right now. I don't know what's happening. It's very annoying. But, yay. Yeah, over on, let's see. I did get a new follow on Tick, and I forgot to mention who it was. I actually don't know who the new follower on Tick is. Sorry, my bad. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, yo. Hopefully everyone's going well. Good news, everyone. I have finished a fairly significant chunk of coursework. That's one of the things I think I'd tell you. I think I've told everyone, since my work and job and all that is just unstable as hell, instead of expecting it to just keep on keeping on, I've been throwing myself pretty heavily into certification and professional education, that kind of thing, trying to get a better job. Yeah, this is why, gaming has never been a serious thing for me. It's always, light hobby. I do it just for fun. I turn my brain off and I play the game. Any game that requires significant effort, nope. I'm too old for that. Games have a place, and that place is quick and easy entertainment. Nothing more. Yeah. You take your souls likes and you put them elsewhere. Thank you. We all leave that challenge for the sake of challenge stuff for the younger folks. They'll learn real quick that it is there's a lot of hardware stuff out there than the video game. Oh boy. And I know, I'm in the middle of it. Anyway, I'm gonna do my coursework. And that's one thing I did today. Took over a month. So some of the courses are easy that you can grab. I racked up a few of the quick and easy ones back in March. But then once things stabilized a little bit, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to not just spam a whole bunch of easy stuff. I need to create something that tests substance and value, because obviously if it's easy for me to get, other companies know it's quick and easy to get. They're not going to value it as much. It's going to be nice. It might get me past a AI screener, but it's not going to be as good as something that takes longer. So I went after a long one. Oh boy. Yeah, normally this one takes 6 months. I did it in 1. That's because I'm kind of insane. And then by that I mean I'm just really good at coursework. But yes, this is what I've been working on steadily. I would have had it last week, but my car accident. So yeah. But anyway, it's fine. It's done now. Took me over a month, but it's done. I'm not gonna go back, grab probably a few quick and easy one now just to relax a little bit. But I've already got another one lined up. I'm probably gonna go for a tech. So this one was kind of a business-oriented thing, just explaining, going over business setup, things like that. So I didn't know. I learned a lot. It was generally useful. It wasn't just a rehash of stuff I already knew. I should learn something. But that's nice. I like learning stuff, But my next one, I'm probably going to go for more a technical background, technical certification, technical degree. So that's going to be next on my blog. Because that is why I'm streaming later. Because, yeah, training myself and getting certifications matters a whole lot more than gaming. There's a lie. I do not have a lot of patience for games. It's like, nope, this doesn't work. Toss it. If I want to challenge my brain, I've got coursework. I will literally do my research work too, which I don't talk about because I don't want to dox myself. But to put it mildly, my actual hobby is not gaming or streaming. It is actual research and development and things of somewhat advanced sort. So yeah, I'm not. Yeah, when I say I'm not a gamer, I don't mean I'm just that sense. No, it's no, I'm a researcher. My day job, my actual long-term hobby is infinitely more challenging than any video game ever made. So yes, that's where video gaming fits in the hierarchy for. So just so everyone's aware, I think I have to repeat this because I think some people forgot last night where games slot in for me on the priority list. So I'm reminding people of this fact. It's a little tiresome. When you hit a certain age, you'll understand when you get old enough. I hope you're doing well, Ginger. Are you recovering from being sick? I hope you're holding up well. Yeah, I also need to get into my car search too. I've not really started the car hunt. I need to. Still haven't heard back from the appraiser yet. Probably take another couple days, but that's okay. My voicemail is down. I got a phone call and voicemail today, but I couldn't access my voicemail. Whole system was down. I don't know why. Very annoying. I don't know, did anyone else's voicemail not work today? Just randomly? Anyway. Well, let's see. So goal pay today is Hytale. I'll talk about that later. It's fine. Alright, so before we start the thing, as usual, I'm gonna do a little Yap video that I'll edit out later. I was gonna do a video on the media analogy, and the freedom of speech, that kind of thing. And, y'all didn't react super well to it last night, so I'll let you know, I'm gonna skip that. I'll let my words speak for themselves. Also, turns out there's a whole lot of random stuff that we don't know about the case, so I'm just gonna, I will let things play out. One thing I could definitely say, don't trust Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is less trustworthy than 4chan. Okay? 4chan legitimately has a better track record of accuracy than Kiwi Farms does. Kiwi Farms is more accurate than Reddit, I'll give them that, but yeah, when they have a bias for something going in, then yeah, you can't really trust them. I know cheaper reviews fell for it. Mizu did not. Good on Mizu. I didn't really either, because I could kind of read from reading it. I was like, this doesn't sound right. And then Mizu dug in and it's like, yeah, no, that's completely wrong. I'm like, okay, cool. Alright, I'm not going crazy. Cool, nice, thank you. Mizu is willing to wade into waters that I do not dare to tread. I do not go to Kiwi Farms. I don't even visit the end of my browser, just because I don't know what kind of trackers that site has. Ugh. I assume that site is malicious. Let's see. Oh, feeling a bit better, although the temperatures don't rise above 7 degrees. Hope that doesn't make your ear lapse. Oh, man. Yeah, that sucks, Ginger. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, it's right. It's the 5th of May. I just realized. Yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. So I guess, yeah, you could say that to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, we're going to do Update 5 of Hytale. Now, this is not the proper Hytale update of Update 5. Update 5 itself is not officially released. This is the re-release Update 5. Cinco de Mayo, Spanish for the 5th of May. It's a Mexican thing. So here in Texas, we do celebrate it because it's Mexico and we have enough crossover. I think some places popularize it as well as for beer and tacos kind of thing. It also today lines up on Taco Tuesday, so that helps. But it is a small, relatively small Texas holiday. Interestingly, it's more of a Texas and Tex-Mex holiday. In Mexico proper is actually very minor for them. Mexico does not really celebrate really huge. But Texas and Tex-Mex make a bigger deal out of Cinco de Mayo than Mexico does. So I asked please. Okay. Con mucho amor. Aw, me. Thank you, Ginger. I appreciate it. It's gonna make the what would give me even that. So, Ginger, what would give you even more to lick is if you gave me a boob slider. Imagine if people could give me money to make my boobs bigger. That'd be awesome. Intent. I do have a redeem for that, to be fair. Although it's an OBS filter. Right, I'll flip that on. One sec. I think it's this one. Yes, enhance. There we go. There. So I have this one here. It uses an OBS. It uses an OBS sphere distortion filter. Many thanks to Shindigs, by the way, for this one. Apparently, you can also make yourself look pregnant with this filter as well, which is what he did. So, many thanks to Shindigs. He thought pregnancy, I thought boobs. So, that shows you where our minds are respectively at. Oh wait, I just realized by turning that on, that means the resulting video is going to have this on. Oh no, what have I done? No, it's fine, it's fine. Whatever, it's funny. so we'll go with it anyway. Well, actually, if you add, also interesting is if you add the boba. So you put the boba in there, yeah, you can see how the filter works in terms of the distortion. So that's actually kind of funny. Now I've got a giant cup of boba between my giant boobs, which is also funny. Anyway, so I did want to do like a video. I'll probably tack this on to the Bordeaux Game Jam from yesterday. I think the Bordeaux Game Jam yesterday has been before parts. I'll work on it later. I'm very behind on video editing. I've got video editing I need that's due for May 29th, and the and for the Digital Circus. I'm very behind. Anyway, I could say today me gusta las big boba like. Nice. Yeah, no, boba tea's good. We actually just had a new boba tea place open up near our work. I'll probably get something from them soon. Check them out. I do love a good boba tea. I will say, boba tea is very nice. Put Jenny in the game? Have I put Jenny in the game? No, I have not put Jenny into Hytale yet. The mod exists for it, at least a lookalike mod. I don't know if anyone's actually imported the entire mod to it yet. But I do need to look into it. I'm getting more used to some of the tools and things. I will be looking at starting to use Blockbench, for example, starting to mod Hytale. I do want to start getting into like coding. The main thing is I've been developing skills for non-programming tasks, just getting used to how the software works, getting used to things like by software I mean like codecs specifically. But yeah, as it turns out, for those that don't keep track about tech stuff, Anthropic pretty much just put a shotgun in their mouth. They're useless. Don't use Anthropic. I like the model, don't get me wrong. But everyone complains about Opus 4.7 is, it's really stupid. I like it. I think it works well. It responds well to me. I get along well with it. But the usage limits are so bad. It's unusable. Opus 4.7 is unusably limited. And the only way I could make use of it would be throw a lot of money at it, which I don't have right now because I lost my car. But the one that does work, oddly enough, is OpenAI. ChatGPT 5.5 is actually really good. And the rate limits are very nice. So I actually recommend that one. The $20 a month. Yeah. I will be making use of that. It does help. I have it right now for example, today I had to organize some notes for me. And I'd like compile them and make them easier for me to read and understand. So that was great. For of purposes, ChatGPT is actually very, very useful. Don't over rely on it. Like, don't try to look stuff up yourself. That's one thing I still practice is I look stuff up myself. I don't ask it everything. But I do have it compile like research reports or saying, hey, can you like find me some resources to look on this? Like, have it give me some links. That's useful. I have it organized all my random notes or scraps of writing and stuff. Also handy. The OCR capabilities are also nice. What I've been doing lately is photographing some of my old handwritten notes, slapping them into the system, and then running OCR on them to get to turn them into digital. That's very useful. Very useful. Okay, so Codex, the OpenAI Codex is a very good research helper tool. I know people don't like AI, but that's a research helper tool. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. And between Claude and OpenAI wins because they're actually usable. Claude chokes after like a little bit. It's really bad. I like it more, but it's unusable. It's unfortunate. Gemini is they're okay. Gemini's big thing is like it has the music gen now, which is kind of fun to play with. Gemini's deep research is also pretty good. I like their deep research is better than GPT's, but not as good as Opus, but again, Opus chokes, so Gemini actually beats Claude for deep research. And Notebook LM is really, really nice. Spending the money for Google Pro, like with Gemini stuff, to $20. The upgraded Google Drive stuff, not bad. I use that for like backup my files and things, for example. So yeah, so Gemini Pro and GPT Pro, yeah, I do spend money on those, and I do that specifically for as research helpers. So I'm actually using it professionally. I'm not just having it for to make random AI slop. I also of course pay for Twitter, so I have access to Grok, but Grok's the one I use the least. I wouldn't like Grok's going real hard on trying to get you to pay the $30 a month for Super Grok, and the value's just not there. Until Musk unveils like Grok 4.4 or a much more advanced model than what he's got, it's not worth it. It's not worth 30. But 10 is worthwhile to do. 30, nah, it's not worth 30. Hey Bob Danny. Just finished making chicken breast? Nice. Air fryers are cool. I wish I could have one. My kitchen's too small. I can't fit in any more appliances. I've got an Instant Pot. I've got a rice cooker. I got some other stuff in my kitchen, but yeah, I can't fit in the air fryer there, sadly. Yeah, it's good stuff. Air fryers are cool. Air fryers are very cool. Very nice. Let's see. Do I have anyone over on Joystick? No, surprisingly not. Weird. I wonder why I don't have I usually will have somebody in Joystick by now. I can say Joystick. Air fryer in the bedroom? Oh, okay. You can get a stove into an air fryer? Oh, interesting. Let's see. Alright, let me start into the chat, the yapping proper as people here trickle in. Because I actually wrote this one out because it's kind of interesting. This will get tacked onto the Rideau. This will get tacked onto the Rideau series. So I think the Rideau games are already 4 parts. This will be, I guess, part 5, and I'll put it in the super. I will include this in the super cut. I usually do. Oh, let's see. Five games, 1 mechanic. 2 got it right, 3 missed. Why? Though keeping with the theme of not meant to last, of 5 games picked an explicit timer mechanic, as counting down implies impermanence. Now, this was for the theme of the Rideau Spring 2026 Game Jam. And for watching the VOD on this, you will note that I've already finished up all of the Rideau games. There are 10 games in all. I played all of them. 9 of them on stream, 1 off stream. Now, I'm not particularly fond of timers in games. I should preface this here. They add pressure. Not a fan of pressure, personally. I like to take things at my own pace. I don't like the game to tell me how fast I need to be. I want to do it my way. I want to be nice, slow, methodical. I want to be able to play around. I want to be able to try different things. I don't want you to rush me. If I want to be rushed, I'll go to work. If I want to be rushed, I'll do some real-life adult things where time is of the essence. You want to play a game, I want to relax and slow down. Be able to control how I do things. So don't rush me, damn it. So I'm not a big fan of timers, as you can see. Now, it is appropriate, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh my god, timers are the worst game mechanic. No. Timers are appropriate if you want to evoke, something that is high pressure. The example, finale of Metroid, planets blowing up, you gotta evacuate. There you go. Alright, fine. That's cool. I understand a timer that kicks. I don't want a timer if I want to enjoy myself. For example, with Leaf Shift, the game there that Cole introduced me to, I'm pretty brutally honest with the guys. I think the whole segment, we were down in that column of fire, that wasn't fun. That was genuinely not fun. It was too much stress, not enough fun. It was just, moving quick, having to not take all the resources that are lying around. It's impossible. Here he is, laying around a whole bunch of resources for me. I can't do it because I'm gonna die. If I stop and take these resources, I die. There is no way to get these. Why would you do that? You're just making me feel bad for no reason. all this stuff. You don't have to include it, like just to leave it empty. So that worked better. So yeah, that whole segment was really badly done, and I very explicitly told him on that. And plus, turns out it was buggy too. Remember, I doubled back and then we found out, oh, it triggered again. It's not supposed to do that. I already beat this. What the hell? So yeah, that was also funny. I actually found a bug in this game because of that scene. Well, you should just remove it entirely. There you go. Or redo it from scratch. It was not well done at all. But yeah, I don't like timers as a rule. Not a fan of it. However, I get 5 games did timers in the Bordeaux Spring 2026 Game Jam. 2 of them did it correctly. So I want to touch on that. Like, who did it right, who missed it, and why. Because there's a lot to learn from. I may not like the mechanic, but I acknowledge that you can learn stuff by how it's done. And seeing the kind of the spectrum these 5 games took, I think that's informative, and that's what I'm going to touch on here. So first up, Timebot. I completely round up this game. I messed up when I was talking about how I was ranking the games, all that. Timebot was a browser-only game. It was the first one I played, but I played it off stream, so when I was doing my wrap-up, I completely left it out. I am so sorry. I should have mentioned Timebot. That's my bad. So that's another reason I'm doing this here, is to apologize to the Timebot guy. I'm sorry I forgot your game. That is my bad. Now, Timebot is my 3rd place pitch. After thinking about it, originally I would put Timebot originally after Sandy Castle, but thinking about it, actually it should be ahead of Sandy Castle, I would say. Because it is quite complete. You know, it's feature complete. It ran just fine. And honestly, it was pretty solid. It's a very good 3rd place. I can't put it ahead of Autumn, because Autumn had a better menu, it had better features, it had better art, and overall, like, Autumn had more to it than Timebot did. But Timebot's very solid. Like, if Timebot had the same menu and maybe more art stuff, like, I could put it ahead of Autumn if it had been more polished. But it's rougher than Autumn, I have to admit that, so it is behind that. It is, however, I think, more polished than Sandy Castle. So I would put Timebot ahead of Sandy Castle. Now, okay, what is in Timebot? Well, as the name suggests, there is a timer. So you run around, you shoot bad guys, you dodge bad guys, you shoot them, and you have a constant timer ticking down. That is, you're running on battery. Your batteries are always running down, so as you're moving around, you're using up power. So you have to find batteries to recharge and keep yourself going. And it was great. The timer was perfectly balanced. Timebot had the best implementation of a timer mechanic of the 5 games that used timers. So there was enough time for you to actually explore, you could poke around, you can engage in battle, but there was still enough pressure, like, you needed to collect those batteries. Like, you did not just want to leave them there, you needed to pick those up. You could not afford to just ignore them. So, nice balance there. Also, solid combat. Donna and Timebot. Yeah, probably of all the games that had combat, Timebot had the best combat. Because, you had to look at the map, you had to know your exit strategies, you had to plan, you had to know where your exit routes were. Because the enemies will swarm you. Like, they will just come at you in groups, large groups. And so if you don't know where you're going, they will surround you, they will kill you very quickly. So that was really cool. That was very cool. It was the enemies were pretty interesting. You had to approach strategically. You had to know what was behind you. It was pretty good. And the point-and-shoot nature worked very well. So best combat out of any game and best timer mechanic out of any game. This was not as feature complete as Autumn, which is the only reason I put behind it. So also there was, similar to Autumn, it did have a bug. They had some kind of like hacking minigame in there. One of the forms of the hacking minigame did not work. There was like a waveform match. It was a little off. You actually just couldn't get it to work. One of the other ones, the sliding puzzle, that was fine. But yeah, the waveform match didn't work. And the dev did say it was buggy. You might fix it later. But yeah, no, Timebot, great. I wish I could play it on stream, but it was browser only. So, but yes, Timebot was my 3rd place choice. I just want to set that straight. So that's the key. So why does the timer work for TimerBot? Because it's there, it's mechanic, it ties in, it's blended into the lore, you're running on battery, but it does not induce unused stress, right? It gives you time. It's well balanced, it lets you explore, it lets you fight before you feel like, oh god, you have batteries. It doesn't turn the game into scramble for batteries 24/7, so I don't have time to actually look around. No. He built in some breathing room. Very good. Very good. So that was well implemented. I would say it's time bomb. Now, the other one that got it mostly right was, as mentioned, Last Drive. Last Drive's only problem was the weird camera thing. I did tell the person that I was the only one who struggled with it. But, the timer was fine. Like, it could have been a little more generous. I saw some people request more time, but you're on the run. So that actually, the Last Drive timer does fall into that category of, you're running away. You're in pursuit. You're being actively hunted. So, okay, having you go off quick is okay. It's okay. So Last Drive, also another one. A little higher pressure, shorter timing, but in this case it makes sense given the story set. So that's okay. Now, alright, so there are 3 misses. Alright, what were they? So, and what can we learn from them? So, obviously, the most obvious miss was Art of Corruption. I think that's pretty obvious. It was programmed wrong. The timer is just wrong. It was programmed incorrectly, and it just ran out before you could even do a level, right? As soon as you hit screen 5, you're done. You cannot progress in the game past screen 5 if the timer runs out before you can do anything. It's a glitch. So the timer it's a bug. I'm going to assume it's a bug. I'm going to assume the timer was not programmed correctly, that the person making it just set it to the wrong countdown speed or something like that, and that's what caused that. Because I think it's kind of the obvious conclusion, right? Because computers have different rates of counting down, right? And you can set them different things. Like a lot of early games, for example, the timing is set to the frame rate. So that's why if you put some older games on modern computers, everything looks weird, because having a modern computer can run at like 240 frames per second, which will then alter the timing of the game and mess everything up. And I think that could be what happened here, where he set the time parameter all wrong, so it went way too fast. And yeah, it should have been caught on a playtest. Like everything else was cool, like the graphics, the setup for the story was funny. I liked the movement mechanic. I liked the movement mechanic. Some of the others didn't. I did tell him, like, right arrow would have been better to start with, especially for dialogue. Right arrow for dialogue makes more sense than left arrow for dialogue, but this small thing. But I like the movement system of, like, press your buttons, then go. Press your buttons, then go. That was good. But the timer mechanic was all wrong, and it messed everything up. It should have been called a playtest. As I said, I graded it as if he made a game that was so bugged it's unplayable. That's how I graded it, which is, unfortunately, means you don't get a good score. Sorry. But that's how I graded it. And to be fair, it's the same as I've graded other games. There have been other games submitted to the game jam that have not been playable. There's just, you open them up and it's like, oh, it just crashes. Or you open up and you can't, like, click off the menu. Basically, I graded it like it was that. With a little few points given for the elements that I could access. So basically, playtest should have caught this. He should have fixed it. He didn't. That's unfortunate, but it shows that's the importance of playtesting. That's the importance of making sure you define your time variables correctly. Now, if you want an example of what happens when timers will arrive, one modern example, look at Minecraft videos when they mess with the tick speed. Minecraft tick speed, great example of how time can vary and how mixing time up can just absolutely wreck your game. If you mess with it. In Minecraft's case, though, a lot of people do it on purpose, right? It's like, oh, let's play hardcore Minecraft, but the tick speed is like 9,999 per second. You've seen those videos, right? So they'll check out your code timers, so they'll basically crash your game, which is what happened with Heart of Corruption, sadly. So that's an easy miss. So that's just an easy list. Now the next miss was Ata, of course. I did comment on that. Now, It was less egregious with Auton. It's a puzzle platformer with a weird control scheme. And I did double check, by the way, the whole, like, throw an object down to double jump, while it exists, no one documents that pretty Like, the first double jump were all item-based. Sonic, Castlevania, a lot of those, you got an item, and it enabled you to jump twice. And where I have a background in it is, like, Unreal Tournament, where you just press twice and you double jump. Or like Princess Peach with her hover thing, right? You jump and you hover in midair in Super Mario 2. But throwing an object down to propel you up as a double jump is so weird. I've counted twice now. This is the second time I'm right into it, but it's a very weird mechanic. I don't know where it comes from. I don't have a thought of it, but it's really bad. I don't like it. I'm just gonna recommend to all devs, don't use this mechanic. It's not good. It is not fun. Don't do it. Just have, if you want a double jump, just use a normal double jump. Okay, use an item double jump. Don't do the whole throw item down to double jump. It's not good. It does not work. I understand what you're going for. It doesn't work. Don't do it. Okay. So, oh, hey, Finn and Alice over on Joystick. Hey, glad to see ya. So, now the trick with Auton here, where the timer ends up being a problem, is, you have to prep the area to move the flower to avoid losing time on the timer, right? But essentially the timer is space between the flower holders, essentially. And you need to try and minimize that time to go A to B as much as possible. But because the controls were weird, then I forgot to mention it, the guy was not as responsive as he should have been, like the jumping and stuff. The throwing in particular was not very good. Not implemented well. The physics engine was not there. But, and we know this too because the wall stick, or I'm gonna call it the stick bug, is memes. Yeah, the Auton stick bug problem. I did talk to the dev afterwards. Yes, he confirmed that is a problem with the physics engine, oddly enough. The reason the items stick to the wall is something to do with how they interact with the wall to slow down and then bounce off. He said it's very hard to fix, apparently, because of the physics they went with. Most likely, that weird physics thing is also what makes the character kind of hard to control, not very accurate with throwing. So I definitely would recommend whatever physics engine Auton went with, don't use that one. It's not good. That one, that's not it, Chief, as they said. So, yeah, but because the controls were, not the best, getting to that checkpoint ate up a lot more time than what the dev thought it would. I think the dev tried to calculate it and then just did not leave sufficient time from A to B. Because to them, when you're developing, the jank, you get used to the jank. That's one of the problems. When you are a developer, the developer is not a good playtester, because the developer gets used to the jank. The jank works for them. But he had someone for whom the jank does not work, and then that's when you find out, oh crap, I have gravely overestimated how easy this is. This is not easy. Oops, that's bad. So that's, again, value of playtesting. Would have found that out, and I have told the dev. Auton, by the way, as it turns out, I didn't know this going in. So Auton was the submission by Loco to Stars to the Game Jam. So last time it was the cleaning game, the Slipshine. No, that's Slipshine. You know which one I mean, the main game of the squirting water. That was the Locos from last time. So Auton was a pilot of Loco this time. I wasn't told that, so I didn't know. But I guess, it's for the best. No conflict of interest. But I did tell him, hey, that's that. Now we playtest. I would have caught these problems for you, and I would have advised you on these. I would have caught the stick bug. I would have been able to tell you, hey, your timer is too short. And hey, your control scheme, and you're gonna want to rethink this. This is not a good control scheme, my guy. You have not done this well. But anyway, next time they will probably ask you to playtest, so that'd be cool. Let's see. Now, of course, the other big problem, too, is because the stick bug glitch, you could end up just having an item stick, soft lock, no fault of your own, they have to start over. Now, yeah, the timer ended up being way more brutal than it should have been. Not impossibly so, that's why I mean it says a less egregious fail than with Art of Corruption, where it's literally just, you cannot play the game. It's that bad. With Auton, you play the game, but it's just like, man, it is a lot more painful than it should be. It is a lot more frustrating. It goes from fun to frustrating way too fast, because the timer's too short. And that's what you want to avoid. You don't want to, the frustration is what you want to avoid with the stuff like this. Because nobody wants frustration. You want fun. So about the timer probably should have been, about double. Let's see, no, you could also adjust it to, difficulty settings. With as feature-rich as it was, there were no difficulty settings, which was a mistake. Art of Corruption, for all its faults, it didn't include difficulty. Smart move. Difficulty didn't work, again, because the timer was not coded properly. The easy and normal modes in Art of Corruption don't work. So you end up you can't play it regardless of which difficulty you pick. Whoops. And then with Auton, as feature-rich as it was, no difficulty setting. It needed one, badly. But that's okay. Also could have also made up for it. Here's the other trick too. If they do want this timer, what you can also do, another compensation here would be more of the power-ups for like anti-wilt, which prevent the timer from counting down, or more of the healing. Those would have also worked. And you can figure that with the difficulty as well. It's like if the difficulty is X, set number, activate these power-ups. If the difficulty is Y, only do these power-ups. Very, very simple state change, coding of like, if this is true, then this is true. There you go. And again, I can see how they missed it. It's a lot less obvious in Art of Corruption, where the timer was just not coded right. And as feature-rich as it is, it's pretty clear their focus was all the other stuff. Because compare the two, right? The main game last time, it was actually their opposites, right? This game and the Auton and the main game from last time almost have like completely different. The main game, the graphics were rough, music was rough, a lot of was rough, but the gameplay was solid. Like, the whole idea of like spraying water on the ground so you go faster, intuitive, very obvious. As Clyde said, I picked it up faster than he did. So it was just really obvious from what is demonstrated in the game that that's how it works. So very good stuff, very good stuff. And the basic mechanic of like, just hunt around, find the things to clean up. Very nice, very satisfying. And no timer on that. It's plenty of time to go around, explore, find all the nooks and crannies. You could bury a ton of little Easter eggs into the levels. Great. But all the things were a little rough, but the gameplay is clearly the main focus. Here with Auton, it's the opposite. Art, the music, the menu. It had the best menu of any game in the game jam. Very polished. But the gameplay itself, rough. As said, the stick bug error. That really should not have gotten out of the development stage. Something should have someone should have stepped up and be like, yeah, no, that's bad. That's real bad. Someone should have also been like, hey, why are there two buttons for this when there should just be one? Like, why are we grabbing and throwing with two different buttons? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now and really what saved it, what probably made it even playable was the whole remapping the buttons. That was really good. If I had to play with the original scheme, it probably would have been way worse. Put it that way. So many thanks applied for letting me know I could remap the keys. And also the tutorial was also easy to fix. The whole, the issue where the game only tells you can throw things sideways, but it doesn't tell you, like, it's forward directional. I mean, just put an enemy in the tutorial where you throw an object up and hit them. Boom, done, easy. I already pitched that to the dev. He's going to be putting it in there. So, yeah, there are already going to be revisions to the game. The dev has made clear he is going to try to polish it up, make it a little more finished. So hopefully the timer revisions, the physics engine revisions, tutorial revisions, a few other things, yeah. But the gameplay on this one was rougher than the one last time, even though everything else was very polished. So, which, again, that's why it outrights time bomb for him. So, it is funny, the kind of parallels there. Now, the fifth one also missed was Crumbler. Now, Crumbler used a different kind of timer than the other four. Okay, so Heart of Corruption, Timebot, Timebot, Last Ride, hold on, I'm gonna make some of my words. You can tell it. You tell my brain's been through the ringer finishing up the coursework because I'm struggling to talk. So Timebot, Last Drive, Heart of Corruption, and a ton used a visible timer to get it counted down. Crumbler, on the other hand, used a somewhat different one. Instead of a ticking clock, it literally destroyed the level behind you. So now this one here, the error is pretty easy to explain. As he made it in 4 hours. It only took 4 hours, so he did not have time to tune or test the game by his own admission. But hey, he did a good job regardless. As I said, you could tell Clyde's main focus was the controls and handling of the guy, and he nailed it. His controls on this guy were much better than the game from last time. A lot better. As I told him, he actually got it this time. And the controls for his guy and Crumbler were a lot better than Auton. Like, moving the Auton guy around was not nearly as smooth as Crumbler's guy. Crumbler's guy was a lot better, moved a lot better. So I will say, for what he put his time into, it shows. Now, where Crumbler missed is, it destroys the stage as it comes in, and the problem is, like, he had the idea and he just put in a linear function. Now, linear makes sense for time, right? Because we're used to, like, each second ticks at the same pace, so when we think time, we tend to think linear. That's a trap. As a game developer, that could be a trap. And Crumbler highlights this trap, because he put linear time, linear crumbling, and that actually made the game way harder than it was supposed to be. By his own admission, that first obstacle ended up being literally the hardest thing in the whole game, for at least the first chunk, until that, like, last jump that I kind of got a preview of. But I think that one was also pretty hard. But yeah, that first obstacle is the hardest thing in the game. It's not supposed to be. You don't put your hardest obstacle at the start of a game, because that kills player momentum. A player can't, like, get into the vibe, can't get into the groove if they're just dying right away, and then you lose interest like I did. And that's just what's going to happen. You do that in a Steam game, you're going to get returned in the first 2 hours and you're not going to make any money. Goodbye. So don't do that. Let players build momentum. And, this game failed to do that. It did not allow players to gain momentum when the whole idea is you're running, right? The whole idea is you're moving away from a crumbling stage. So the building of momentum is critical to the feel of a game like that. And because the first obstacle was badly made, or mismade, he couldn't do that. And again, Clyde, it only took 4 hours, so this is not like me saying, oh my god, Clyde's a horrible... No, he did this in 4 hours. So what's the solution here? Okay, so let's sit Clyde down and give him a week to work this out. Alright, how can he fix this? Because obviously it's wrong. So, what you would do in this case is you would use nonlinear. Okay, so you would have the crumbling start slow and then ramp up until it hits target speed, and then it plateaus and stays constant. Because by that point, okay, now the player has gotten used to it, he's gotten used to the movement a bit, you give him some time to run around a bit, you give him some, like, stretches, some easy stretches to build him up to it, and now you're starting to get hard with the jumps and things. Bam. And now it's speeding up now, but the player's in good shape because they're able to move fast, and now the game can catch up to them and also go fast. So, but it requires non-linear. You don't start at max speed right away. There you go. So this is a great example. So Crumbler is a great example of when non-linear time, or non-linear, I guess, progression or something like that, is a way to improve gameplay. Because the fact that it started out at max right away and held constant, that was an incorrect choice. But again, it was one born of the short time span. With literally the time crunch of making the game ended up causing the game to represent time incorrectly. So that's kind of funny there. Great parallel with video editing. Sometimes you want an item to move across the screen in a linear fashion. Just move at a steady pace. But you can also do curves. Curves are non-linear, sprinkle in some curves, right way to get a little extra zip to the movement of elements on screen. And you can see that in my case, if you ever watch one of my VODs, you'll see like the short intro, you will notice that the 3 avatars, when they enter, they don't move at the same pace. They don't fly through the screen at the same rate. They come in fast, slow down so you can focus on them, and then zip off to the side. So that's curves. So I have, so I use curve movement, curved pacing on there, and it looks a lot more eye-catching when you do that. So that same with the game devs. If you use non-linear motion, non-linear time, non-linear pacing, instead of just, same thing all the time, that's going to be a lot more eye-catching. It's going to be a lot more engaging. It's going to be a lot more interesting. For example, another thing you could do with Crumbler too is you could, again, you have to start slow because of that first obstacle. Although honestly, that first obstacle should be like something you run into down the road. It should start on just an easy flat surface so you can get your bearings first, practice jumping, that kind of thing, before you run into any obstacles. I mean, that's obvious. But, then what you could do is you have like speed up, then plateaus, then you have to like slow back down or something like. So you could set up like, oh, here's a really area where I'm gonna like make it tricky to jump through the spikes, but I'm gonna slow down the crumbling. So you actually have a chance of getting to the spikes. But then once you're through the spikes, bam, it's gonna speed back up again and pressure you to like start run, you better start running again. Ha ha ha. That can be fun too. Like vary the tension. Push and pull. Twee and la, as Avatar might say. That's also really a good thing to consider. Again, Clyde didn't have time to do it, but these are probably things that would occur to him to do, because he gets this. And so, but I'm mainly pointing this out for anyone at home who's thinking of doing dev work. So, again, I'm not writing these devs for how the games turn out. As a game jam, there's gonna be jank. I had one of the It Takes Two. I had at least one game that the Viva menu was up and I couldn't play it at all. So Heart of Corruption just goes right back to the, it's a game that I can't play because it doesn't work. Oh, whoops. I remember we had that one where as I was going through, it spawned invincible slimes. Oh man, it's like, yes, here's a monster, you can't kill it. I'm like, what? What do you mean I can't kill this monster? Yeah, as far as I know, they still haven't fixed that, which is unfortunate. Again, failure doesn't mean you're terrible. It's just because I'm saying, all these 3 games missed, doesn't mean you're terrible. It's just easy room to learn, and the lesson here, the whole point is, what can be learned? If you learn something from the miss, you win. That's how it goes. Game jams are supposed to be educational. You're supposed to learn something about how to design the games, how to use these tricks. 5 people decided to use timer mechanics, which makes sense given the theme. 2 of them did it right, 3 of them didn't. What can they learn from who did it right? And what can they learn from the mistakes they made? And what can we learn from the mistakes that were made? That's what's going on here. So interesting range of success here, right? You have great solid round box of time bot, and you have all the way to, oh yeah, that wasn't coded correctly with hard corruption, and everything in between. Really interesting here. I haven't, there's a reason I'm doing this video, so I haven't seen that spread on a feature in one of these game jams until this time. I don't think any of the prior game jams had the exact same mechanic implemented on this kind of scale. Like even though It Takes Two, everyone made, pretty much everyone went with like a multiplayer game, but everyone implemented pretty much the same. There wasn't really a range on that one, and they all kind of worked if you had 2 people. But this one, people went different ways with the timer, and some balanced it right, some didn't. It was very, very interesting how different people approached the same timer mechanic. So that was insightful. But yeah, if you learn something, you win. 5 games, 1 mechanic, spectrum of success and failure. There you go. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Of the 5 games I mentioned, what do you think missed or worked? Make sure you go play Timebot. Again, I am sorry for the dev for not mentioning it more yesterday. I really did like Timebot. I apologize for not bringing it up more. It's on a browser. You can play it for free through the itch.io page. Okay, this is Dominic Bytes signing out. When next we meet, may your robot body be fully charged. Okay, as we're about to start, so what I'm gonna do, let me just get set up for the game real quick, then the ads will run, and then we'll come back and we'll hop right into the game. So one sec here, let me get this going. Okay, so ads are about to start, let me launch the game. That's already installed. There you go, make sure to install the update. We're going. I made that mistake once. Alright, we'll be right back.